Well, I've always liked the monster within idea. I like the zombies being us. It's like zombies are the blue-collar monsters.
Call of the Dead was the ninth Zombies map to drop, and it was probably the first fully imagined map ever. Let me explain. Before this, we got Nocturne Totem, a 3-room survival map that was stripped of most everything this mode has to offer now. Then Verrucht, a type map that has barely any room to breathe, but still pretty fun. Shinonuma, where things started improving, like map design and flavor and scenery. Doris, a great conclusion to the first act of Zombies. Kino, a great beginning to Act 2 of Zombies. 5, a fun new spin on zombies using different kinds of boss rounds, and there's historical characters instead of the original 4 that we've been using, and the random Marines from World at War. Technically Dead Ops Arcade, a fun new spin on what zombies would be as a arcade style game with a skyline view and a score-based mission. And finally Ascension, a breath of fresh air, but still not complete. Although all of those... kind of funny. Now, even though all of those maps have a place in my heart for being a good to great maps, they don't feel complete to me. The closest I would say was Ascension, but even that map doesn't feel finished in a way. Now, forgive me for using subjective feelings in this opinionated video about a level in a video game, but hear me out. Whenever I ask friends about their favorite zombie maps, I get the same ones every time. Moon, Kino, Origins, Mob, and Doris or the Giant. But I actually have been yelled at by Jimmy Zielinski himself. Just kidding, I don't know Jimmy. But I get confused looks when I say Call of the Dead is probably my favorite, and only when I explain everything I know about it, they say, oh, okay. I didn't know that. Or, something. So, now I'm gonna blow the doors wide open to expose why this map is pretty fucking cool. Let's jump into it. To explain why Call of the Dead, or COTD for short, was so great, is we have to talk about what was great about zombies in general. See, there were consistencies that we as a community were kind of given after Doris. So a decent sized starting room, mystery box, small boss zombie like the Nova Crawlers or dogs, monkeys in Ascension and Pentagon Thief in 5, and our general 4 to 6 perks. Now, while World at War was the time and era for camping to most people, Black Ops was when zombies grew to farther and greater heights, eventually breaking World at War high round records because of some glitches and strategies later found in Black Ops 1. Now, I'll talk about that later, but for now, people started to run what was called trains, where you group zombies behind you for maximum survivability. Now, this new generation of zombie maps exploded with this concept, with the second floor of 5, the stage in Kino, and the most infamous of all, the CCCP wall in Ascension, or the stamina up room in Ascension. Starting room, that was also a good pack-a-punch. Right outside of Speed Cola, holy shit. Kino had the stage, and maybe there's the 2 other rooms that you can train in, relatively safe, like outside and near the MP40 room. In 5, I mean, good luck playing more than solo, because you camp the elevators most likely. Now, Ascension was the map that encouraged all players to run around in circles. Treyer went to thinking, what if you designed maps encouraging this? Well, my friends, we get maps like Call of the Dead, Moon, Mob of the Dead, Transit. Most people hate this map, but it was open and there was a spot for everyone. Buried, Origins, most of these maps incorporated this new ideology and had some level of positive fan response, some a lot sooner to their release than others. The outlier in recognition, of course, is Call of the Dead. Well, congratulations, because that's why I'm going to shed some light on why it's an important step to creating the perfect map. And, that was achieved after this masterpiece, with the aforementioned maps above. Now, The promos covering this map pack were necessarily not important to the design because they were already made. But just take a look at the tone it sets for before it's even launched. Especially going back in time where people were starting to really get hyped about this new mode in Call of Duty. Now, tell me what's so different about this compared to promos in the past.
Here they come! They're everywhere! Shit! We need to get these doors open! Don't leave me!
We're here. This is the place. Finally. I was getting tired of Takio's rambling. Shut up, Nikolai, and get your gear on. What the hell just happened? Everyone okay?
Oh, I feel like I will throw up.
A mere side effect, Russia. Everything is normal.
Let's get this done.
Oh yeah, bring it!
Where are we?
When are
It's kick-ass.
Let's do it!
Welcome to Ascension, a place full of uncanny challenges, so you better use your brain, or it will end up being eaten by natives like these. And yes, you are correct, these are authentic Russian cosmonaut monkey zombies.
Do you see a pattern? If you do, then what the fuck? How did you already know what I was going to talk about unless you already watched this video, you? Anyways. There's a theme revolving the time of the DLC unveiling, and it's not really a theme, but it's just the tone of the community at the time, how things were made. Because right now, this isn't even as big as Call of Duty Zombies would ever get. But as an example, Kino and Ascension was going for like a post-Vietnam Cold War vibe. Not really going for laughs or kind of just showcasing what they are and showing some of the innovations. World at War maps went from scary and creepy to straight up badass and Doris with explosions and obviously that badass, metal music in the background. Lena Siegman, fucking best when it comes to zombies music. What's different in this trailer though?
A story of 4 lone survivors. One forsaken crew. And a shipload of the undead. The bone-chilling tale inspired by legendary director George Romero. It's anchors away for brain-splattering action. With the wrong Mexican. Starring Danny Trejo.
How's that for a close-up, deadhead?
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
This must be a nightmare.
Robert Englund.
Don't you mess with me, boy.
And Michael Rooker. With special guest, the godfather of all zombies, George Romero. The tide will rise, and so will the body count. It's Call of the Dead.
This is what set this map apart in my head. I remember watching this trailer so much because of how awesome it was at the time. I grew up playing zombies. And I mean, actually, I remember playing through World at War campaign and unlocking zombies. Let's finally talk about the map itself, because this is the first real instant of a true Easter egg. So Call of the Dead, meant to be the title of a George A. Romero movie based in an old Siberian 935 outpost, where he and our four main characters were in the middle of shooting a movie, and that's simple, right? That's pretty much it. Oh, that's what everyone thinks when they boot up this map. Because just like 5, these characters are the real deal. And at the time, we didn't have an idea if 5 was an alternate timeline or simulation or part of the storyline. So of course, when you watch the intro to this, makes you think that maybe this is just a movie. And that's going to be an excuse for why they're zombies and you're playing with George Romero, or I'll talk about that later, but it was fun to think about. And literally a minute later, George gets kidnapped and turned into a zombie. And the Element 115 was turning the movie crew and old humans into zombies. But do you know who you get to play as while all this happens? Danny Mother-Lovin' Machete Trejo. Michael Boy Rooker, Robert Bitch England, and last but not least, Sarah Michael Gellar, or SMG. Now, the backstory is mostly talked about now. Let's jump to the game.
Hey, I need vodka.
Hello? Can you help us? There must be a blown fuse or something. It's dark in here.
Now, if you were following me before, I said that this was probably the first fully imagined map, and this is why. Not only does this have all of the staples of a classic zombies map, like the large starting room, mystery box, yada yada, this had the first real Easter egg. Now, technically, people say that the first real Easter egg was Nocturne Totem, but those guys are psychopaths. And some people pointed to Reese. And honestly, hide and seek was not an Easter egg. It was like, no. Stop it. Ascension walked, so Call of the Dead could sprint like those motherfuckers on Verrückt. Ascension had these cryptic steps and your reward was a, 90-second death machine? No. 60-second maybe? Look at what you get for doing the Easter egg in Call of the Dead. Not only do you get a Wunderwaffe, yes, you get a motherfucking Wunderwaffe as a power-up. You also get it every time you kill George after completing the Easter egg, solo or in co-op. Trust me, you wanted to do it in solo. And you start by going near the lighthouse. You knife the door. You know who's behind that door? The motherfucking original crew. They were sent to Call of the Dead after messing up the teleporter in Kino. You have to help them acquire the Vril device, something to be used later. And I don't want to go over all the steps, but my favorite, probably the vodka bottle catch and the boat. While the switches and the stupid generators are my least favorite. You use the VR11, or holy shit, I just realized looking at it now, it spells Vril. VR and then I11. Oh my god. But you use the VR11 to fix a zombie near a green light, and you kill him. This will give you a device, the Vril device. You can take it to the crew, and after they leave...
Hold on.
Okay, after you knife the panel, they leave for Shangri-La, and you or any teammate are awarded a temporary Wunderwaffe. Not only was it a nice and fun Easter egg to do, but it was pretty fast if you knew what to do and you weren't stuck on the fucking switches. And from now on, whenever you kill George, you get a Wunderwaffe and a free perk. This really steps up the Easter egg game to an 11, because now you get rewarded for future playthroughs. The story progresses, and I mean, as a criticism of future maps, this one isn't mandatory to do, at least every time. You see, this map does not have any real infinite kill weapons, except for the Wunderwaffe. So realistically, this Easter egg should be done so that higher rounds can be done. Now that I've got all of that out of the way, here's the real reason I wanted to talk about this map. The high round records. As of now, on the current date of May 13th, 2020, these are the solo world records for Call of the Dead, and they are a lot smaller than other maps. Now, I'm not going to say round 90 is easy, but barely only really make it to round 70 and I fuck up. Hell, even Nocturne Totem in Black Ops 1 is higher by like 50 rounds. Why? As you can tell from my confusion, I went back and did some research, and it makes sense. Look what maps we had before Call of the Dead. None of them were as vicious as this one. And here's why the round count is so low. Error screens. You see, the game can only hold so much information in memory at a time, and most maps alleviated this by having pretty low poly counts, minimal particle effects, not too detailed of a map, and it usually meant generally smaller maps to explore. But I so lazy, didn't you praise Ascension for being so open? And to say that, yeah, I mean, open doesn't mean it's detailed. And I mean, the map sure is pretty big, but how detailed is the map? Coupled with particles being spawned every second on all of the map. And even worse, changing environment effects. And the environment effects was layering on pretty much millions more particles. And then there's also the Easter egg programmed with all the voice lines and all of the effects like the foghorn and the green lights and the whole submarine that comes up. I mean, it made everything count. Explosives crashed the game at around 40. The number of box uses determined when the error would happen, so timing when you wanted to use the box was a huge factor. Do you see why this map is so cool? Now, at the time it was amazing and new, but looking now, it's the first real step to creating perfect maps. The concepts created in this map in this era shaped zombies into greatness, before being torn down by the same developers years later. But there's a time and place for everything, and Call of the Dead is pretty much almost timeless. Anyways, this is my point. Call of the Dead may not be the most technical or the most well-designed map, but it is one of the most fun solo and co-op maps. I didn't even mention that the VR11 in co-op gave immunity to zombies to a teammate if you shoot them, and made whatever they had insta-kill most anything, and zombies avoided them. What the fuck, Drag? It's so cool! Why didn't you do that shit every time? Anyways, I'm not saying that this map should be in everyone's top spot, but I am saying to check it out, because it just may or may not be more fun than you think it is. And speaking of checking stuff out, you should check out Grammarly and my Twitch. What a nice transition that was, right? But seriously, thank you Grammarly for sponsoring this channel. I couldn't have done it without Grammarly correcting my common mistakes all the time. I had the premium when I wrote this and when I was taking classes. So check out the link below if you want to help support the channel. And yeah, am I so lazy? And thanks for watching.